Good afternoon, everybody. We are in the final week of our 4th annual Taking Action Against Domestic Violence campaign. And this afternoon, we're taking a closer look at the Florida Evidence Code. It has been changed, and joining us in the studios with more, we have Susan McMillan, who is with the Domestic Abuse Intervention Project. Thank you so much for coming in.
You're welcome.
When you wrote me the email and you said, finally, some good news, there's been a change in the Florida Evidence Code, I was really happy to hear about that. I know it's something that you and your husband have been working on for a long time. Yes. Tell our viewers what the change means for domestic violence cases.
Well, in the past, victims had to go to court and they had to speak in order for the batterer to be prosecuted. And if you know anything about domestic violence, it's just almost impossible to get the victim to cooperate because he can threaten her. She's dependent on him for money. The idea of testifying against him can be terrifying. He may have threatened her. So there's so many reasons why victims don't go to court and testify. But there's plenty of other evidence, and that hasn't been allowed in until this change in the evidence code.
So what are some of the things that would be allowed in? Statements that the person has made to police or to advocates? What kind of statements would be allowed?
It's an exception to the hearsay rule. So these hearsay statements, like excited utterances, like when she makes the 911 call and she says, "Help, my husband is beating me," or I need help at my house, or when she makes statements to social workers or to her friends or to the police.
And until this change, none of that would have been allowed in court?
Right, because unless she was going to go on the stand and say it herself, then it wouldn't be admissible. So the change in the law says, look, if the victim isn't testifying because of the acts of the batterer or because he's influencing her not to show up, then we have to let this evidence in and let the jury hear the truth.
Wow. How are advocates and attorneys learning about this change, getting this information so that they can use it in their prosecution?
Well, I know we know about it in Manatee County because we initiated it there, but I don't know that prosecutors across the state do know about it. It's pretty interesting that there were close to 2,000 some odd bills that were filed in the Florida legislature, and this was one of the 292 or so that passed. So we want to get the information out there because it gives prosecutors another tool in their toolbox.
You all work with batterers in your project, in your line of work, you and your husband.
Yes.
So you see firsthand the influence that they can have on the victim.
Yes.
What's your message to folks who are out there watching this thinking, it can't be that bad, they can't have a hold on the victim so completely?
Oh, gosh. It's a whole mindset that the physical abuse is really the smallest part of it. It's the emotional abuse that chops down somebody's self-esteem and the isolation that cuts them off from their friends and family and outside influence that might tell them that this is wrong. It's the way that he uses coercion and threats. You know, if you kill me, I mean, if you leave me, I'll kill you. I'll kill any man that ever looks at you. I'll get the kids. You'll never see them. Right. So there's a whole host of factors that make it a controlling and dominating relationship where she eventually, over time, loses her power.
Well, thank you so much for everything that you've done to get this changed. I know that you were steadfast and determined. Congratulations to you.
Yes, I want to give credit to the group, the task force that I worked with in Manatee County. We worked with the shelter and we worked with Safe Children Coalition. So
wonderful.
Yeah.
Congratulations to everyone then. If you would like to learn more about our Taking Action Against Domestic Violence, as well as local help centers and efforts that are underway in the Tampa Bay area to help victims of domestic violence, please visit our website at abcactionnews.com/dv. At ABC Action News, domestic violence awareness is a year-round commitment. We include the statewide domestic violence hotline in our newscasts, on our website, even in social media. Even here, behind the scenes, we share that hotline number with our employees. Why? Because we know that hotline works. If you or someone you know may be a victim of domestic violence or dating violence, call 1-800-500-1119. No judgments, just help.